Alright, let's take a look at PHIO. This one had gapped up last week on Friday off some news, made a strong move up to 276. And we see that this pre-market it's kind of faded and broken down. I mean, we're sort of holding this 180 level right now, but we've pretty much had almost all selling from that high of 276. It's a lower float, so we might see another move up, but it's really going to need to reclaim VWAP, and then I would say most likely going to have to claim this 220 level. This 220 level was established last Friday, kind of in the after hours. We've kind of held that as support, and I guess now on the flip side, it's resistance. So if it can break two on the open, or even in this little bit of pre-market left, it's going to need to see a move up to 220, and then a break up there for some potential of bigger moves. Then it's really even going to have to make a bigger move then up to that 260 area with a break of 275 for a really big move. On the downside, we kind of have longer term support at 155 actually. Actually, it's probably more like 1.6. So we might see a move down to 1.6. I think if it breaks that, then kind of really in trouble. You might even see ultimately a fade down to 1. I don't know if it's going to have much momentum. I mean, we don't have that significant amount of volume this pre-market, so sometimes that's tougher to gauge. What it's going to do on the open. I would say as of right now, it's perhaps not showing as much strength just because of the fade and lower volume. Let's take a look at IVDA. This again was something we took a look at last week just because it had a move roughly 4 days ago. It had a good pop up to like 487, and right now it's making another jump up. However, not as big of a move, but definitely has some good volume going right now in the pre-market. On the daily, it's really been kind of in a downtrend, and so kind of have lower RSI. So it's kind of almost possibly at a turning point. Adding the catalyst, you could see a bigger move. We do have a bit of a gap from that 387 level almost up to 560. So if we can make a reclaim of VWAP here, it's just trading just below, and then have a break of this 3.6, 3.5, 3.6 level, we could see a bigger move than up to 375 and above. Kind of room within that gap to play. It just depends on if we can continue this volume. I mean, right now it has some decent volume going into the open, so it's possible it has some decent strength. Right now we also kind of see a bit of a ascending wedge, so possible ascending support on the 1 minute here. Let's extend this. So it might take a little bit of while if it wants to kind of bounce off this support. Might not be the best drawn to the line. It might be kind of roughly hitting it now. We might see it did try to do almost a little bit of a breakout over a VWAP. That's why you see the more of the volume right here on this try of a breakout. Didn't really hold. So we're in a little bit of a pullback right now. I mean, lower volume, so it's holding the support. It's nothing that would give me concern that it's going to really drop down or fade. Or not necessarily even concern, just an indication that it might fade. So right now, I would say it's one to watch for possibly on the open. It's wedging up, and just kind of with the 20 minutes left, it's a potential for making volatile moves on the open. If it's above VWAP and hitting close to the 3.5, possibly to the upside. But we'll have to watch that as we get closer to the open. Let's take a look at VERU. Um, this is gapping up this morning. This is a larger cap stock. I think it's roughly 200 million shares. It's a oil and gas stock. Kind of been on a little bit of downtrend this past, 30 days, month. We do have some support around the 510 area. Another level to look out for is that 550, and you see we're kind of hovering around that, consolidating around that in the pre-market. Did have a spike all the way up to 650. Let's see. I mean, do we have? I mean, that is a previous level. It didn't really break through that. I mean, if it were to break through that, the next, I would say, maybe we have a little bit of a level at 690. Otherwise, a bigger point of consolidation is up to 750, but that's going to require a lot, and I don't see it really making that big of a move intraday. You have some decent volume, definitely higher RVAL going into the open, and we're holding VWAP now, so definitely a sign of strength. Bigger stocks like these tend to not necessarily make as huge of volatile candles, so it's more of a slower trend, perhaps a daily trend, or just a slower trend to one of these resistance points and then consolidation or slow fade to a lower point of support. I think right now, going into the open, it's definitely something to watch. I don't think it'll be as volatile in the open. Maybe stand back and kind of watch what it does for the first 5-10 minutes, establish a trend, and then if we can get close, if we can reclaim 6 and get close to 650, you might see a move up to 6.9, almost 7. I mean, if it breaks there, then it's definitely got more room to run above 7, but that's a whole dollar from now. And so I don't know if it'll get there today. I mean, it is on the daily in a bit of I wouldn't say a huge downtrend, more of a consolidation with a little bit of a downtrend, a little bit not far off the SMA, but at a lower point. I mean, we did see a low on Friday, so part of this is just probably natural, consolidation turnaround, but then also with the catalyst, we see a bigger move. So definitely one to watch on the open and see how it plays out in the open. That'll probably establish the daily trend for this.